Hey guys, this is Vidas,
Sandra.
and we're starting our episode number 4 of Ask Vidas and Osha podcast, and we're doing this while driving in the car to our school. And today's question was posted by Sandra, our total organist student, and she asks, the assistant pastor at the Lutheran church, where I am the organist, bellows fiercely and drags all the hymns. Every verse is the same volume, regardless of the meanings of the words. He holds all the final notes of every phrase. It's quite horrible. The head pastor will not tell him to stop. Please help. So, it's an interesting situation, right? Where the pastor really sings quite loudly, and I think the entire congregation can really hear this. Don't you think, Osha?
Oh, yes, but actually that's not such a rare case.
That the pastor sings
Yes.
loudly, slowly, right? I see. Is this a problem? Is it a real problem, or it's a minor detail? What do you think?
Well, it might get really annoying for organists especially. And I think for congregation too, especially for the musical one.
Right. So this assistant pastor, of course, will not listen to anyone, right? And the head pastor also will not tell him to stop. So dragging and singing fiercely, right? Basically, he acts like a soloist, I think, right? From what I heard from Sandra's question.
Maybe Sandra should offer him to do some solo.
Solo,
Or-
yeah. Or we could come to from Lithuania and help him understand, right? To Sandra's church. Anyway, it's really funny. But
Well, speaking seriously, I think one of the things she could do, actually, she could talk with him herself and try, to see how he will respond. If he will not respond, and still keep singing loudly as a soloist, she could probably, just to play the organ, to accompany organ louder, and
Yeah.
to push him to sing faster, actually. And I'm sure if she will start the next stanza to play right away, he will not, long that last note forever.
yeah, because the organ will play for, further. You remember, Osha, we had a similar situation when we were working a number of years back at Holy Cross Church.
Yes, in Vilnius.
And not pastor was the problem, but entire congregation was singing extremely slowly.
Yes, there was like some elderly ladies who would, just... Actually, once one of them just caught me on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like a half a kilometer away from church already, she was just, running behind me, trying to catch me. And then she would tell, oh, just play, more often in our church. Don't let Vidas do it so often because he plays so fast and we are old people. We like to sing, very slowly. And, come on.
Yeah, that was really funny. But not at the moment, right?
Yes.
From the hindsight, it's funny. But of course, when Sandra faces this challenge, it's not funny for her because it ruins the entire feeling of congregational singing if one person drags all the notes or sings like a soloist, right? But as Osha says, it's really, really good to play the organ louder in this case, right? Make the organ lead. I'm not sure what stops Sandra is using, but Osha, what stops would you suggest she would use?
I would say probably a principal chorus for like softer verses and piano for the louder verses.
Principals, you mean without mixtures, right?
Yes, like 8, 4 and 2 principals.
And then if you want culmination versions, the last verse, for example, you can add a mixture.
Sure.
It's not too soft because it's not too loud because people will have a urge to sing louder then.
Sure. Pastor too, assistant pastor.
Assistant pastor, yeah. It might be that it will be like a competition, a race. Who will be louder? Who will
Yes.
win? Oh well, I think.
But I hope it will help, eventually.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do here is to keep a healthy perspective and to have a humor about it a little bit, to laugh at the situation, not at the pastor, but at the situation. And it's really like an anecdote, right? Like a joke, that it's very traditional and a lot of cases, a lot of parishes and congregations do that, sing too slow, for example. And it's annoying, but you can be quite funny about that, right? Not too frustrated. I think keeping a healthy mind, I think, in that situation, because it's not Sandra's fault, right?
Sure. And as an old saying says, you cannot teach old dog new tricks. So that might be a case with that assistant pastor, I don't know, but let's be hopeful that even he can change.
Of course, Sandra could play more organ music, right? Instead of just hymns.
Well, but still, there are, a few hymns appropriate, to have in each service, so you cannot avoid it, so. But you really need to, to ask him to do some solo work for you, like, I don't know.
Yeah, if his voice is so strong and he can sing in tune,
yes,
hold the pitch, why not ask? Maybe he can even read music, I can suspect, because usually people who cannot read music, they are shy and will not sing loud enough.
Well,
Or not necessarily.
All of them, not necessarily. Some people are singing out of tune and we don't realize that we are singing out of tune. So it's a tricky question.
So then Sandra could really approach this assistant pastor and talk to him. That would be number one thing
Sure.
to do, very politely, very gently, and or even better, record a hymn or two, and let him listen, right, to the recording, and ask if he likes his solo in a congregational singing, like this, right? Put a microphone someplace or a recorder in the middle of the church or just from the organ balcony, anywhere, right? The closer to the pastor, the better, actually.
Sure.
Then he might understand without Sandra's actually words what's happening.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
It depends on how big his ego is.
Oh yeah, ego is sometimes as big as Western Hemisphere for some people. Right. So Osha, I've seen when we came back from our birthday party yesterday, I've seen on the music rack on our organ, you had some great organ music collections, even organ music by Jean Alain.
Yes.
Yeah? Did you practice that yourself?
Yes, I practiced it myself.
What kind of piece?
The Second Fantasy.
Second Fantasy. Oh yeah, you played this long time ago.
Yes.
Did you like it yesterday?
Very much, yes.
Yes. Was it difficult for you to refresh this piece after how many? 10 years of not playing, or 11 years?
Actually, I think 10 years.
10.
But actually, it wasn't hard.
Wasn't?
Yes.
It wasn't. Wow. So after you master something, hey guys, listen, it's really good news. Once you master something really well and play it in public a few times, right? Then you can forget about it and do something else, master other pieces, and then come back in 10 years, and this piece, which you haven't touched for 10 years, will not be like a new piece. Of course, it will be not mastered enough, not ready for public performance tomorrow, but it will be quite familiar, right?
Yes, sure.
Wonderful. So I think we can practice today also later on after school. I have 4 graduation ceremonies to play at the church, and also a podcast conversation to record with the organist from, I think, Argentina. So wonderful, guys. I think Sandra's question will apply to a lot of congregations, to a lot of people, and I hope you will find valuable too. So, this was Vidas,
And Usha.
and remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.